Hello people, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to a train breaker's yard where, like, you know, when trains at the end of their lifetime go to perish. But on our way to the train's breaker's yard, we get to come across this lovely old disused railway. It's on the, if you watched our video before, it's on the line that you've seen the video on with the old train tunnels. This is the same line but further down where the train breaker's yard is, and then after the train breaker's yard it goes on to a heritage railway. But this is what's left of the disused railway. We're here with Lee and John and we're going to take a look at it. But it's an absolutely beautiful walk, and then again it's an absolutely beautiful day as well. So we thought, why not? We'll come out and have a look. There's a little bridge coming up as well that we got to walk over, which would be pretty nice to have a look off. But yeah, all the old concrete sleepers are here still, and then when you get to the actual railway bridge there is rails that are left, but it's been converted, like the last one, it's been converted into a bike path and it goes across the road and then carries on into the distance for miles for no reason. And there's a biker coming down. But yeah, it is quite lovely, they say anyway. This is where the rails start again. Well, what's left of them anyway. They've moved some of them. But when you get to the bridge, like I said before, the rails actually come back, which is quite cool. Originally, I imagine it would have been wooden sleepers, but these are concrete. Just gotta watch out for cyclists. Don't want to get absolutely forbidden by a cyclist now, do we? That wouldn't be any fun. Oh, there's some information on the board for anybody that's interested. Here's the board.
Yeah, John, here are we, Bridge 14.
With all the information on it. I'll show you the bridge now. Look at it. I think this goes over a little brook, to be fair. You've got the bridge they put in for the cycle path. Because originally, I think it used to be a 2-track railway. That's what's left of the bridge over like a little brook. It is. It's very scenic. We are in the middle of nowhere. There's a little brook down there. But yeah, it's very beautiful. Listen to the sound of that water. That is absolutely beautiful on a day like today. If you didn't know, it's 30 degrees where we are in the sunshine and there's barely a cloud in the sky. Oh, there's a hole there in the footbridge. Don't want to be stepping down that, that'd be terrible. And as you come off the bridge, the track's intact with its original wooden sleepers. Look. We've got to walk this track for about 1 kilometre before we actually get to the breaker's yard. But the train track is still here the whole way, which I think is a nice touch, because usually they just rip them out and you could never tell, apart from how straight the tracks are, well, the bike track that you walk down, you could never tell that it actually was a disused railway. So I think it's lovely that they have left the rails in. With, look, these ones have got original wooden sleepers still, which is quite cool. There's even just there's an old stop sign and an old buffer to the side as well, which they've took off and left there. I do love this type of stuff. It is great fun. There's an intact signal. The railway is actually completely intact here. Literally completely intact. They've not touched it at all. And then there's the old signal there. It's lovely, that is. I bet it still works as well. Does anybody want to go over there and flick the switch?
Wait, I want to flick it.
Does anybody want to go over and have just go there and flick it? The chain's still on the floor, look. Literally just hit the lever, it'll change.
The lever's here, look. Yeah.
There it is. Has it stopped all the way up there? No, still moves though. And then there's a little crossing with some gates up here as well. Crossing from that field into that field over there. Still gets used, as you can see. People go across. Brand new gates as well. Shut and fasten the gate. And then there's a what's that? Oh, another national rail. Well, it's got Network Rails logo on it, another stoplight. Because I imagine they bring it. They probably still use this track then from the breakers yard. They just bring the trains down and then run them in reverse to see if they still work. I think. Don't quite quote me on that one. But just in the distance, I don't know if you can see it. Just off there in the distance is the breakers yard, so it wasn't far from where we started at all. We found some cows.
Silver side, that's top side. That's right.
Sirloin. Mince. We found some cows on the journey. We're nearly there. It's a field of nourishment. That's what it is. But yeah, there's a 5 miles per hour marking on the side coming up to another bridge. And then we're pretty much there. You can just about see a train carriage in the distance. But like I said before, the rails still get used because they're polished on top. So obviously they bring engines up and down here. Got a bench there with marking. It says bridge number 13 of this line. The same again. Footbridge, a couple of holes in it, over another little brook. And then made out of Victorian blue brick. Bridge with the rails on it. For some reason they've got some fence in there with some orange bits on them. I imagine the boards of the bridge are a bit dodgy. He's testing the stability of the bridge. I mean, the bridge is a bit rotten like in places, but I imagine it's still safe for people to use. Oh, look at this. A couple of holes in that. You can hear the water again for another stream. Just down there. Somebody's lovely house over there in the background as well. Some carriages here. Another old set of signals to that side. And then another set there as well. Buffers, small carriages as we come over the bridge. Still pretty well maintained, all things considered. Little cart. Still got power running in the, I'd say trunking, but I don't think it is. And there's some carriages, well, some old, can't think of the word I'm looking for. Split into 2 tracks. And then there's a set of points. Freight cars. It's got a couple of sleepers on it. These haven't moved in years. That one's absolutely rotten. I wonder how old that is. What'd you say, sorry? That's an electric fence. I'll touch it. I'll do it for a £5. Ah, fine. I'll do it for a £5 in coins. I've heard they aren't that bad, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah. €7.50 done. I could use that on my holiday. Once again, they've got some more signals here. And then there's an old, I don't know what that was, but it was some type of building. I'm sure it was a signal hut. But it's not very well looked after, is it? But yeah. The second track goes back into a set of points and then splits back into 1. Over another small little bridge, over another brook, and then splits back into 2. And then we've got some diesel engines down there, and I can see a freight, not freight, I can see a steam train as well. Again, over another little brook. Some more action. Oh, there's the levers to change points.
Yep.
And then there's another set of points, splits off there. And as you can see there, it's a nice little diesel engine just coming out of the background. It's an absolutely beautiful walk to do, especially when the weather's like this. We've come, you won't be able to see, but we've come a fair jaunt. Like I said, we had to walk a kilometre, which isn't really that much from where we were. But look, here's a lovely little, I can't remember what class of engine this is. But it's absolutely stunning to look at up close. Don't really get used, I don't think. I think he just sits there on the sides. It's a class 47. For all you train people out there that love them. Nice class 47 with a brake wagon attached to it. And then another engine here, wearing the name Phoenix. They are quite pretty things to look at, aren't they? That one's got a kettle in the window. Don't know if I can get this on camera. But in this window here, there's just a kettle in the window. I believe it's got a full kitchen on board this. I mean, you can't go to work without a cup of tea. This one's class 31 in a nice blue colour, like I said before, wearing the name Phoenix. They are a nice thing to look at when you get all close to them. Some containers over there. There's a container yard over there. I assume that's where they store parts. And you got another set of signals here. An old Stratton. We're in the village of Stratton, I believe that is. It says that there on that little house, Stratton. That is what village we're in. It's towards Northamptonshire. Pittsford and Brampton station is where we are. There's your signals. Gas container there. An old public carriage there. Coal stacked up behind the fence. Some more old wagons. Horse-drawn wagons behind the fence there. Not train related, but there's some horse-drawn wagons there. Some old steam engines here. Or fronts of steam engines. And then it carries on to more public wagons. And then just behind the steam engine there, there's a another freight, well, shunter type freight engine. It's an old steam engine. It's got the wedges underneath him. I doubt he's moved in a long time. Got some old carriages here. Pittsford and Brampton Breakers Yard. It used to be a station. It's not so much anymore. Souvenir shop. Buffet open. No, it's an actual shop. They must be doing something. They got a marquee. There's another train carriage the other side of there. And then walking up alongside one of these carriages, up close and personal. You don't see many of these anymore. And you've got an old freight carriage, and there's a station behind it with all the stuff on it. Signal box with all the point colours. I imagine the station's still open. It looks very clean for it not to be open. It's a freight carriage there that you can see into. These are absolutely massive. You don't actually get the scale of how big a train carriage is until you're not stood on a platform and you're stood at wheel level with it. They are huge. If you take Lee and John for scale, they're massive. And they're just left here. They're not really doing nothing. They get decommissioned and then they end up here. It's kind of sad really that they don't use them anymore. But there is a heritage railway line just down from here, so they might use them on the heritage railway line. So that would be a plus if they did, because that means they still have use in their lives. And electric lines making a buzz. This is a newer carriage off of I couldn't tell you what it was off, but this is a newer. Looks like an old Virgin carriage off a Virgin Voyager. Not quite sure what it's off. Hampton and Lamport, yeah, they still get used by the old, by the buffet car. Gets used by the Heritage Railway line, and is being pulled by a lovely diesel locomotive. It's a freight yard house there.
Not left, is it?
Look at how lovely that train is. The information platform for it every Sunday. Still open, this is. Every Sunday, 10 AM to 3:30, when the train service, all on special train running days, freshly prepared hot and cold food, speciality coffees, hot chocolate, ice cream and drinks. This is where they run the buffet car for that Heritage Railway station, and then there's a train bridge there. Bolton Car Park and Kingsthorpe. Here's all the events of the Northampton and Lamport Railway, Heritage Railway, like I said before, the magic of steam. Kids could ride for £1 on the 28th, cheese and cider train. You can volunteer with them today if you'd like to. Cooks and front of house volunteers needed. And book advance to avoid disappointment. Come visit our platform 3 and souvenir. They've got a souvenir and gift shop over here. If I cross over the railway line, I imagine. I think you can just cross, but either way, this is what it looks like. You go straight up there, and now we're up close and personal with this diesel engine. I imagine we can just go around here. If not, we'll find out. Up the little stairs. Over this fence is the platform, and there's another look at that train there. Pedestrians and car park. They're just talking to somebody over there about it. But yeah, it's part of the Northampton and Lamport Heritage Railway line. But this was a breaker's yard, and now it's been tucked underneath the Heritage and Railway line. To this place is Brampton Halt Country Pub and Restaurant. So there's a pub and restaurant on the back of the railway station. Well, the old rail. They've got a British Rail tent over there. So they do break some railway cars here still. But then they run the buffet service, like I said before, for the Heritage Railway from here, which is quite cool. Like I said before, the British Rail tents, where they dismantle the cars. If we get a look, just over the fence. Just over the fence. There's all sorts. Yeah, this is a really cool place. %110% would recommend the walk to come and visit this place, because it, like I said before, it is quite cool to look at if you're not doing nothing. And here's the entrance to their breaker's yard with all their containers and stuff, and they've got the shell down there. I don't know if you had to see it, a silver shell with a steam boiler off a steam engine, There's some horse and drawn carts and stuff and some old diggers. But it's quite cool. It is.
You stop there.
It is a very cool thing to have a look at. We're currently under a railway bridge, like so. When you last see me, we went over there by that train. John's about to do some clever stuff with the drone, and I think he's about to fly down the railway line, back that way. If this is what's going on, I will input a clip of the drone flying down here for you lot, so you can get the full extent. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Extent of how large the railway line is. It is.
What shot you got?
That, like that.
Like that?
Yeah. But yeah, it's 30 degrees outside, guys. It's quite hot. Note to self, if you come out doing things like this, bring copious amounts of water, or else you'll turn into a mere crisp.
You mean like this?
Yeah, well, he did have copious amount of water. He ain't got copious amounts of water anymore, but always bring water, or you'll turn into a mere crisp, and you don't want that. It's not a good look, I promise you. As you've seen in that last clip, there was a little fly all the way down to where we started. Now we're on a walk back. As you can see, that class 47 is now in the rear of us. So no, that didn't sound right. That class 47 is now behind us. We'll scrap what I said before. But we're on our walk back now, on a kilometre long walk as the drone flies past. We're on a little kilometre long walk all the way back to the car. But it's an absolutely, like I said, I've probably said about 4 times, beautiful walk, especially when it's hot. And you get to see some cool old engines. I imagine the same engines aren't always going to be here, because when we looked into coming and doing this, there was a HST that was here, and there was some proper old freight wagons, but they're no longer at this location, so I assume they've been broken or sold on to another heritage line. But what more could you want? Again, we're walking past the old signals and those original freight cars there, and what was left of some sort of building. I'd love to climb up there and just stand. I reckon that'd be proper cool. Back across the bridge now, the slightly dodgy bridge with the holes in the floor. You probably could just help yourself over the fence and walk down it. Is that Spitfire? There's a Spitfire up in the sky there, I don't know if you could see it. You could probably just help yourself over and walk down the train track. This is that dodgy bridge again with the holes in the floor. And are they gonna move that train that's been sat there for 40 years down this bit of line at this exact moment? Probably not.
No.
Try it. I'll film you and we'll find out what happens.
Nothing really.
Highly doubt anything would happen.
I know it's not looking back home, is
It's a kilometre long walk. It's lovely.
You need plastic.
There's the sound of the water again. I love the sound of that on a hot day. It is just brilliant. I mean, I wouldn't fancy a dip in it. It looks a bit green. But it's lovely. All the cows are over there in the field. Hope you all enjoyed today's video of that little look at a disused railway and breakers yard. You can see where the rails went through the floor just there, and where it carries off into the distance that way. But I do hope you've enjoyed today's video, and we would love to see you again in the next one. So don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, but the like and the subscribe button, and me, John and Lee, will see you in the next instalment of whatever we choose to go and have a look at. But until then, see you later, people.